Have you ever felt like your relationships are running on some kind of hidden script, one you can't see, let alone control? Well, today, we're not just going to expose that script. We're going to figure out why it breaks and, most importantly, how you can become the architect of a brand new beginning, even after a really tough heartbreak.
Oh, you know that fight. It might start with something tiny, like who was supposed to take out the trash, but it always ends in the exact same place. You know, with accusations, feeling totally misunderstood, maybe even abandoned. If you've been there, and I think a lot of us have, you know that incredibly frustrating feeling of being stuck in a loop you just can't seem to break. And here's the secret that almost nobody talks about. The topic of the fight, it's usually just a distraction. The real problem is that hidden dance, that automatic script that just takes over the second you're feeling stressed. In fact, the most common version of this dance actually has a name. It's called the anxious avoidant trap. And it is a vicious cycle. The more one person anxiously pushes for connection, the more the other person starts to feel overwhelmed and pulls away, needing space. So then you have this pursuit and withdrawal thing that just escalates, and it leaves both people feeling completely alone in the relationship. Sound familiar? So, okay, if we're stuck in this trap, how do we get out? Well, the first step is to really understand where that script even comes from. It's actually rooted in our personal relational blueprint, which is an idea from something called attachment theory. So to decode your blueprint, we need to look at the 4 main attachment styles. First up is the secure style. You can think of this as the foundation we're all kind of aiming for. People with a secure attachment style, they're comfortable with both getting close and having their own independence. They can be intimate with others without totally losing themselves. And when a fight comes up, they see it as a problem to be solved together, not as some huge threat. Next, we have the anxious attachment style. Now, someone with this blueprint often craves a lot of intimacy and reassurance because their deepest core fear is abandonment. And that can make them feel pretty insecure and hyper-aware of even the tiniest shifts in their partner's mood. And then on the flip side of that, you have the avoidance style. These folks tend to prioritize independence above everything else. They often feel suffocated by too much emotional closeness and will pull away or even shut down when a partner gets too near, because deep down, they see intimacy as a threat to their self-sufficiency. And finally, there's the disorganized style, which is, well, it's a painful mix of both anxious and avoidant. People with this style desperately want connection, but at the same time, they are deeply afraid of it. This internal come here, no wait, go away conflict leads to really confusing and often chaotic relationship patterns. Okay, and this is where it all clicks into place. This chart shows exactly how each of these styles reacts when things get stressful. The secure person, they problem solve. But for the others, their systems go into overdrive. The anxious person hyperactivates. They pursue connection at all costs. The avoidant person hypoactivates. They shut down to create distance. And the disorganized style can just shift chaotically between the two. This right here, this is the engine that drives that repetitive fight. Okay, so I know decoding the blueprint is really powerful, but let's be honest. It can also be kind of painful, especially if a relationship has ended because of these exact patterns. So where do we even begin to heal? Well, the very first, most fundamental tool is self-compassion. It's a really safe and practical way to start no matter how much you're hurting right now. And this isn't just about feeling good, you know? It's about fundamentally changing the way you relate to yourself, especially in your most vulnerable moments. It's about offering yourself the same warmth that you might be desperately looking for from other people. The researcher Dr. Kristen Neff breaks self-compassion down into 3 core ideas, which is super helpful. It starts with self-kindness, basically treating yourself like you would treat a good friend instead of judging yourself. Then it's about recognizing our common humanity, just realizing that you are not alone in your pain. And finally, it's about mindfulness, noticing your feelings without letting them completely take over. It's a simple but powerful framework for learning how to be on your own side. And look, this isn't just theory. You can practice it right now. You can try a self-compassion break. Just place a hand over your heart and take a deep breath. That simple physical act can actually release oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. Or just ask yourself this question: what would I say to a good friend right now? The whole goal is to make these tangible daily practices. So, once you start treating yourself with a bit more compassion, the next step is to create a real sense of closure with the past. And that brings us to our second tool, and this is something very few people consider, but it is incredibly powerful.
intentional rituals. I mean, think about it. We have weddings, baby showers, housewarming, all these rituals to mark beginnings. But our culture is pretty much silent on how to mark an ending with real intention and grace. This is a huge gap, but it's one that you can absolutely fill for yourself.
Just think of how an uncoupling ceremony can be a powerful mirror to a wedding. So instead of lighting a unity candle, you might extinguish one. Instead of vows of togetherness, you could make vows to yourself for your new chapter. And look, this isn't about betterness, it's about honoring what was and consciously, intentionally choosing what comes next.
You can design a ritual that is truly meaningful to you. It could be something you do all by yourself, like writing a letter and then burning it. Or it could be something you share with close, supportive friends. The point is to create a symbolic act that tells your heart and your mind that this chapter is truly over. So when you combine understanding your own blueprint with powerful tools like self-compassion and ritual, something really incredible happens. You shift from being just a character stuck in an old script to becoming the architect of your own new beginning. You know, there's actually a term for this. It's called post-traumatic growth. It's this idea that struggling with a major life crisis, like a divorce or a big breakup, can actually lead to positive psychological changes. You don't just bounce back, you can bounce forward. And you don't have to do this alone. For people who seek out support, the odds are just overwhelmingly in your favor. Research actually shows that a staggering 75% of people who try therapy see positive results. Healing isn't just possible. For those who commit to it, it is probable.
So, the crucial point is this. This painful ending is also an invitation. It's an opportunity to let go of old patterns, to reconnect with yourself, and to build a life that is truly aligned with your actual values and needs. You've already done the hard work of just looking at the hidden script. By understanding your past, you've literally been handed the tools to design your future. The script has been decoded. The old foundation has been cleared away. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.